And so you're going to have to prove that you're taking the necessary safeguards to protect consumers and businesses as a whole.
Hello and welcome to the sidelines of the RSA conference here in San Francisco. I'm Jarrett Banks, editor at Tech Edge. Joining me is Sean Forkan, the Chief Risk Officer of Black Duck. Sean, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Give us a brief overview of Black Duck.
So Black Duck is an application security software leader. We've been around for over 20 years. Very highly regarded by the analyst community, having been in the Gartner Magic Quadrant for the last 7 years and top right for the last 5. Strong pedigree of very large enterprise accounts where we secure the software that matters most to them. So thanks for taking the time today. It's great to chat.
Sure. For those not in the industry, why is application security so important?
Sure. So if you talk to most business executives today, applications as a whole are really core to their innovation and their growth strategy. And so securing them has now become critically important. And there's a number of other factors that they're really trying to struggle with. Regulation is coming at them from all different parts of the world, right, that they're going to need to cope with. And then we've got this thing called AI, which you may have heard of. Hot topic here. Well, what that's really going to cause is just a proliferation of code, right? We see developers being able to generate even more code, and now you got to figure out, am I compliant? Do I have IP risks? Or what are the security vulnerabilities on that code?
What are some of the macro trends affecting the application security? You mentioned AI, but what are some other things?
I think that AI is certainly a big one. Regulation is probably the other big one that I hear when I talk to customers. The Cyber Resilience Act out of Europe is probably the one that I get talked to the most about. I was just in Japan 8 weeks ago, and what the Japanese executives are sharing quite openly is this is now a board level issue for them because they're trying to figure out how to comply with this legislation as it comes down the pipe, because you will not be able to ship cars and other devices into Europe unless you can meet the standards, which are evolving at the moment, but expect to get locked in place sometime in 26, 27.
Do you see some parallels between the open source software movement and the explosion of AI generated code?
Absolutely. Black Duck's been around for 20 years, and that was our history, of course, was open source. And so, both you're relying on external models to help you build code, and both, with that, comes the benefit of being able to, take advantage of all these productivity gains, but also you run the risks of bringing in code that has compliance risk or security risk as part of that. And so all of our experience around how we help customers navigate that complexity at scale in the open source is we're applying all that learning to folks that are using AI to generate their software.
Now, you mentioned regulation already, but I'm going to ask again. You've said that software is increasingly becoming a regulated industry. How is that going to shake things up?
Well, I think it's going to force companies to be very diligent and make sure they've got duty of care, right, or can prove duty of care relative to the software that they create. And that could be software that goes into a car, into a medical device, or into the software that that you use to run your business, right? And so you're going to have to prove that you're taking the necessary safeguards to protect consumers and businesses as a whole.
Okay. Now, your company was recently acquired.
Yes.
Tell me about the evolution and what's coming next.
Yeah, so Synopsys was our parent company, purchased us, I think it was 10 years ago. We went through $2 billion worth of acquisition and innovation to become who we are. We were kind of a small company trapped in a big company, and so in November of this year, Clear Lake and Francisco Partners purchased us, and so we've been running at speed ever since. We're anxious to continue to build on all the great work and continue to work with customers to meet those big undermet, underserved needs in market, and we've had some really good conversations this week. I was with the Chief Product Security Officer last night. He just talked about how important we are to his business, and also gave me some ideas on who he wants us to acquire in the not too distant future, so we'll see how that shakes out.
Okay, now we are here at the RSA conference. It is a madhouse downstairs, but as best you can, what are some of the takeaways that you've discovered?
Probably the biggest thing for me is this feels like RSA pre-COVID. It is so amazing to see the energy on the floor, It is the biggest, smallest conference all built in one. I don't know about you, but I just continue to bump into people at every turn that I know. I think there's lots of energy right now going on. I think folks are continue to be a little worried about the macro uncertainty, but in general, it's so amazing to feel the energy walking the floors down here and meeting so many old colleagues.
All right, great. We'll leave it there. This has been Sean Forkan, the CRO of Black Duck. I'm Jarrett Banks, signing off from San Francisco.